Welcome to Shining Stars, Voices of Service, Hope, and Change. A program dedicated to spotlighting the nonprofits and changemakers who are transforming our communities. Each episode shares inspiring stories of the organizations and individuals turning compassion into action. This is Daedalian back on Shining Stars once again and talking with the folks from Fenner Nature Center. We've got Tina, Sam, and Abigail in the studio with me. And if you want to get more information about Fenner, you can always stop by their website. It's mynaturecenter.org. Again, doing this is a two-parter. If you want to hear the first part, go back to the previous episode and listen to that. These guys have got quite a bit to say, and they are absolutely a charming crew to talk to. So I'm enjoying this conversation. Let's get back into this. This one's going to be for each and every one of you. And yes, I expect everybody to answer this one. So I could actually hear parts of Sam as Sam was kind of talking. And actually, I feel like, Abigail, you definitely kind of almost answered the question at one point. But was there a point where, like, as you're working at Fenner, where you go, yep, this is why I do this? That moment that you're like, wow, this is great. This is where you almost didn't even know it was a job.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of those moments, I think, that, and I think that's been one of the things that's kept me in this field for so long. You know, people can change careers and stuff like that. It's easy to get burnt out in a career. And I've had the opportunity to be doing this for over 20 years in the environmental education field. And I think it's because you have those moments where you could be teaching a kid, and it doesn't have to be a kid. It could be an adult as well. You know, you're doing a public program and you're talking with them, and then there's a moment, there's that little light bulb moment where, like, something you did, something you said, something that you introduced them just worked, and you see them, they're just like, oh yeah, you know, or like they got so engaged that they came up to you after the program and they're like, I would love to learn more about this. And I think one of the experiences we had with that was with our summer camp last year, and we had one of the students, great kid, phenomenal kid, loved nature, but, you know, didn't really have a hardcore focus for it. And we had our volunteer and stewardship coordinator, Dylan. He was talking with him. He was helping out with doing some stuff with camps, and Dylan's again into birds as well. And he kind of introduced that whole concept to this kid, and he got so sucked in with it. He got so enthralled by it. And then, you know, you saw this kid who was just like, I like nature and I want to be out here and this is fun, to like, that's a pileated woodpecker. He's like, no, Mr. Sam, if you just listen for a second. No, don't move. Just listen. And then he'll call out, like, that was the red-bellied, you know. And then you got him because he loved it so much. And he wanted to pay more attention to it. And then we got a chance just to see him about, you know, a year later at our World Migratory Bird event.
He was there the whole day.
The whole
festival.
Yeah, and just telling us about, like, the birds he had seen this year, the birds he was able to travel with his parents to go check out, you know, and he was so into it. And this was something that, like, made a good positive change in that kid's life. And I love that.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Truthfully, I feel like that every single day, specifically when I'm walking through the classroom at the preschool. To get to my office, you have to cut through the classroom. So I get the joy of getting to, like, start my day in the classroom with the children. And the joy that emits from that space is next level. Like, nothing compares to it. And the community that we've built, honestly, just Fenner as a whole, I feel like has so much community that people don't really realize. I mean, the families that have been with us at the preschool, some of them have been with us for, you know, 2 to 3 years now. And that's like their entire early childhood experience that they get to stay and remain with us. But they also go to festivals, they volunteer, they move on and do summer camps with Sam. And it's true connection, like in action, in these children who see their teachers and their peers, and Mr. Dillon for Nature Hour. It's just true joy and connection that really makes this work feel very meaningful.
Yeah.
Kind of the day-to-day works for you, huh?
Yeah. I walk into the preschool space or any space where you guys are, like, teaching, and I'm like, whoa, like, it's so different from our everyday, like, what we're used to. Like, this is, like, hands-on seeing students and, like, younger students especially connect with nature, or like just with each other in their own way, like socially, developmentally. Like,
it's just that vibe. Like, that vibe of that place is so different. It's
and you can tell they're so
nice.
happy. Like, they're thriving and they're supported. And I wish, you know, I had something like that growing up, I feel like I would have grown up to be a very different person had I had something like that. But you guys responded, like you guys had such gracious answers, and I feel like mine is going to be a little bit more about myself, so hopefully it doesn't sound self-centered. But
well, it's okay if it is.
I think that, like, the reason why, like, I'll get those moments like, oh, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, is when I learn new things from everyone around me, from our audience, from the visitors, from the students, to the educators who are teaching. And when I get so excited learning new things, because I've always cared very deeply about all the things that we do, you know, environmental education, conservation, stewardship, but being able to actually like learn about it and apply it and like teach other people about it has been such a joy. And if I'm not learning, and like, are you really growing as a person? If you care about something, but you're not making the effort to learn about that, I just feel like I can't become like a better person to make the community a better place and the world a better place, essentially. So yeah, I do feel those moments where I'm like, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm not stuck in one place where I feel like I know everything. I'm constantly learning something new, and I get to share that with other people who probably feel the same way, hopefully feel the same way as me, and that they care about things, but they don't know where to start in learning about it, making an effort, making an impact in their everyday life. And so, yeah, I would say that's where I feel most connected.
I think that was a great answer. Yeah. It didn't sound selfish to me at all. So, and you are correct. In you know, improving yourself and investing in yourself, you're actually helping others too. I know it sounds like a strange thing to say, but yeah, that's what I have learned and seems to work for me and makes me feel about when I'm feeling selfish. So whatever. Has it changed much since 2020? Have you noticed people come out more or come out less? I'm curious.
Oh, man.
I mean, definitely more. I would say more. You know, I mean, It's been a lot. Yeah, a lot of changes since. I mean, 2020. I mean, so I started in March of 2020.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow,
so,
that's some timing there.
Yeah, it was really good. I planned that one real well.
So was it pretty much desolate during that year?
Well, it was one of those years. So when I started, I think I was there for maybe about 3 weeks, and then it was really nice. The administrative staff took a voluntary furlough to make sure that the part-time naturalists that we had on during that time could maintain their employment throughout COVID. So all the admins took a voluntary furlough so that the organization would make sure it stay afloat. And during that time, during the COVID time, we didn't lose one employee. You know,
excellent.
It was fantastic. But like, you know, looking at that organization back in 2020 and what we did with camps and what we did with education and what we did with, you know, we had just built our rental and event space. So it hadn't even really been used at that point. The preschool wasn't even up at that point. I mean, looking at 2020 Fenner Nature Center and then looking at, you know, 2026, it's completely different, absolutely completely different. And the stuff that we can offer people now, the facilities, the programs, everything like that has made a huge change. And the amount of people that are coming out to our events, the amount of people that just, you know, fill the parking lot and stuff like that. We definitely, I think we have more visitorship each year when we have people that kind of find out about that hidden gem. I think one of my favorites was when we had a woman that came in and she was like, "What is this place?" And I said, "Well, this is, you know, welcome. This is Fenner Nature Center. Is this your first time here?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, are you from the Lansing area?" She's like, "Yeah, I live on the street right next door. I always just thought I had a really big backyard that went into the woods." She's like, "I've been here for 40 years. I never knew you were here." I was like, "Well, this is what happens when you don't take a left out of your driveway. You only take a right." You know, it was one of those things. So it was just so cool. Like, you know, and you get more and more of those. It's either, you know, I came here as a kid and I did something, you know, amazing, or, you know, I just got introduced to this gem, or we had people that came in here internationally that came here from Northern Europe, and we were one of their destination birding spots that they wanted to go to in the US, that they wanted to come and check out this area. So they were just like, "Yeah, we heard great things about the birding here at Fenner during migratory bird time." And I was like, "That's incredible. It's awesome." So,
that's great.
Yeah.
So the reason I ask about 2020 specifically is because it's also that time where we were kind of forced to be inside a lot to some degree. And then at the same time, I have actually found in my own personal life, I've just become more of a homebody since that year, and I don't like it always. It's important to get outside.
It is.
So why is it important to get outside, either from a philosophical point of view or from a science-based point of view?
Really
What
deep
do
with
you
that
What do you guys think?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like your mental health. Like there's research and evidence, the direct correlation between time outside, time spent in nature, and positive mental health.
Yep.
And I think that at a time where technology is so insane, insanely relied on, that disconnection from technology and that connection with nature really like directly impacts society's mental health.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I also think like there is so much going on in our own personal lives all of the time where when you take a moment to be outdoors, you also realize there's a whole universe and there's a whole, like, there's so much going on outside of your own life. If you just take a moment to notice, like, the world just keeps going on. The birds are going to keep doing their things. All the other animals are like, everything is just going to keep moving along. And it gives you a moment to, like, realize, maybe my problems aren't so big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Those
would
are
agree
good
with
answers.
that. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so you went like the mental health route, went from philosophical route with that one right there. I think that
Blend them together.
I'm
Sam.
gonna blend them. Yeah, blend them. We'll throw them all together with that one right there. I think that just being outside in general, if you're exposed to fresh air, if you're exposed to some of that, great bacteria that's outside and stuff like that. We're going with that evidence too. You notice that like kids that live on a farm get sick less than kids that live in the city because they're exposed to, they're exposed to nature. They're exposed to a lot of things that help boost that immune system that they have. Especially during COVID time and stuff like that. You could walk outside because a lot of us were homebound and stuff like that. And I remember with my daughter too, because I think she was about 4 at the time. And every day, like I remember I put like an extra bike seat on the bike, and it was every day I was like, we had to go out. So we just make the rounds. We do like, I was in great shape. I was doing like 15 miles on the bike a day. It was fantastic. But we just take the rounds. We take the bike to Fenner, and we take the bike to Hawk Island, and we take the bike to Potter Park. And you could be outside, and you just had to be outside during those times because it felt less isolating. It felt like you were still connected. And even though it seemed like the world was crashing down around us during that time, it felt like it was still okay.
Yeah.
It was all right. You could still walk around. You could still engage. You could still see those birds. You could still, be in that good, positive mental health state. So
It's kind of like that weird take. I know it doesn't apply to everyone, but, like during the COVID era, people were like, whoa, like I had time to do stuff or like do things that they didn't do before, spend more time outdoors. I think it's kind of similar in the way where you're slowing down.
Yeah.
And, there's a place for that where you can slow down and not have to think about everything else and just be in the moment. So yeah, I think that kind of the defining characteristic to me of like being out in nature is just it's peaceful and in many ways.
Yeah, I agree. That's obviously the prime reason why I go there. And as you'd mentioned earlier, walking into Fenner very often, I just feel like I've stepped away from the city. And it's weird because it is right in the middle of the city to some degree, corner of Mount Hope and Aurelius.
Yep.
I suppose we should fit that in there
It's
somewhere
all right,
just so people know. But one way or the other, you can visit the website, mynaturecenter.org, and get all the details you need, right? So let's go around the room, and I'm going to ask everybody a specific question, something that is what I will hope to be applicable to kind of what you do there at the at the Nature Center. Tina, you're somebody that's grew up here in Lansing, and you've kind of hit on it here and there. So has your relationship with nature or Lansing itself, has it changed since becoming a part of Fenner?
I have always really loved the Lansing community. And all of the people are so great. The organizations. Working at Fenner has made me connect with those people a lot more, whether if it's for festivals, education, programmatic stuff, events. It's just helped me, for a lack of better terms, network with a lot of new people who also care a lot about our mission, or just somehow we overlap with one another in one way or another. So I definitely do feel more connected to Lansing in that way. and I'm constantly meeting new people, and I want to keep meeting new people. And for a lot of organizations, they might not think like, oh, I will have nothing to do with Fenner Nature Center because, our mission is a little bit different, but that's not always the case. And we have like invited a lot of people in who maybe they just need a rental space out in nature, but they're doing something completely different. Or they want something fun like a animal encounter program for their team building exercises. And I don't know, I just like got the chance to meet a lot of new people that I wouldn't have otherwise met and work with them and really build those partnerships up a lot more throughout the years. So I do feel a lot more connected to Lansing in that way.
So when you say rent a space, so do people do weddings? Anything?
Yeah, I mean,
what it is?
Whatever event you can think of, we have we kind of have a space for that. So we've done weddings, we've done team building, like conferences, celebration of life. Right now, open houses are popping off around in the summer, but there's like a place kind of for everyone, hopefully, and we do have like a site for that. So people really like it, and they go on tours and check us out, and otherwise they wouldn't have even known it was there, but we're there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sam, you've worked at a lot of nature centers and conservation spaces across the U.S. and Canada as well. Is that right? Yeah. So what stands out to you about Fenner specifically and the Lansing community? What's different?
It's the shortest commute I've ever had to work. It's spectacular. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, what really stands out about Fenner, I'm going to kind of ride Tina's coattails on this one a little bit. In all the places that I've worked, I mean, you get to work with good people, and you get to see, the impact that you make on the community and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the community connection that I've found with Fenner, I think is unrivaled. I think that people really, the community that we have here really, really backs that organization. When you see it when we have a festival, you see it when we have an academic program, say like Annie's Big Nature Lesson, for example, which is a really cool program that does immersive education where they bring, school kids out and they spend the whole week out there doing their science classes as opposed to just like the normal field trip model that you would have. And you see the parents come out with that. You'd see 20 kids that are in the class, and there's 15 cars out there, with all the parents that are coming in for this. It's fantastic because they want to volunteer and they want to be at the space. So you see it when people are engaging with the social media or the storytelling that Tina's putting out. You see it wildly with the preschool community that we have. People really respond to this organization, and I think it's because we offer so many different things, and you don't have to be hardcore nature nerd like some of us to really appreciate it. You could just come out here for that open house. You could just have your kid in the preschool. You could just really enjoy the social media posts, and the engagement and the backing that we have from that community, I think is by far the most I've ever seen in any of the organizations I've worked with.
That's awesome. It seems to be something with Lansing, the Lansing. I would say mid-Michigan, because there's a lot of the small towns.
Yeah. You guys show up. You do good, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Abigail, yours is the question I've really been excited to ask, because it involves the kids. So what do young children notice about nature that adults tend to miss?
Everything.
Yeah, I was like, so much.
Noticing it's there.
Yeah, I mean, even if you think about like the level that children observe from, they're obviously a lot lower than adults, so they see the things that are low down on the ground that like we don't even come into our line of sight. So, if you go into a Fenner preschool program, you'll notice that all of the educators are down, crouched, low down on their knees, and that helps them, be seeing exactly what the children are seeing. But they'll see the tiniest little things on the ground that would never come into my line of sight, and it really just opens up a whole new world for questions and exploration and discovery. But another way that you could look at this question, or another take, is what don't they notice about nature? And the one thing that really stands out to me is that young children don't notice the discomforts of nature as much as adults do. So we're just programmed as adults to be like, oh, it's so cold outside, or oh, it's so windy or cloudy, or all of the things that adults perceive as negative about nature.
Sure.
The children
so
don't. Yeah, the children don't. They just see it for what it is. Oh, it's cloudy today. very neutral on their judgments. And it kind of retrains us and our team to think the same way. We try not to put our own adult perspectives on nature. We try to look at it objectively, because if children start hearing us talk about, oh, it's so cold, I can't wait till it's nicer out, that just puts those thoughts on them that they wouldn't have otherwise. Naturally, they do not think that way. They think, let's go outside no matter what. And that's been really cool to see how open they are to all weather and all engagements outside. They're not persuaded differently because of a little rain.
Yeah.
They'll run outside in the rain and find joy and not be bothered at all.
Yeah. It's also like sometimes you're taught to fear things,
Right.
Like the fear is taught in many ways, and I think that applies to a lot of things that we try to like break down at Fenner and the many things that we do. Like we have animals that we specifically choose that people think are scary or weird or gross, and we try to break down those misconceptions and everything that you're saying too about like, oh, it's like dirty or it's gross, like those are things we don't let them know. And I remember like talking to a preschool parent, they said like, yeah, my kid was at a party, there was like this bug and she just went and put it outside and all the kids were squealing and like screaming like, oh, I was just like, wow, she's doing really well, like she's not scared. And I don't know, I just think that makes such a big difference on like your growth in life too.
Yeah.
And not to approach with fear, but like try to understand, and in general, I think it's really cool, especially with young kiddos getting to be learning in that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. We're going to finish up with a lightning round. Let's do the lightning round really quick.
Ooh, I love it.
So first person to answer, here we go. Out of all the creatures that wander Fenner, which one best represents your personality?
Wood duck.
Wood duck.
Right there.
Why the wood duck?
That was that was the one that was given to me by one of our staff members. That was there. We were jokingly using codes over the radio one day.
And you became wood duck?
I became wood duck. It's I'm very much an extroverted person. I really like to talk to people. I really like to be out there and kind of, I don't want to say be that center of attention, but I'm more than happy to step up on that pedestal and start to talk to the crowd. So very vibrant colors of that wood duck being out there.
Out of all the creatures that wander Fenner, which one has the biggest attitude?
Oh, the deer.
The deer.
That's They
own the place.
They do. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. They're. I mean, you hear of deer up north or something like that.
They have like at Fenner specifically stood in my path and just stared at me like, what?
Yeah, and you have to walk around them.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
You got a problem?
Yeah, the city deer.
Yeah,
That's
the geese at the preschool property have a pretty big attitude too.
Oh yeah.
we get a lot more geese over at our site.
You do.
And,
Out of all the creatures that wander Fenner, which one would make the worst coworker?
Why are you looking
Because
at
I've
me?
lightning round two of them. It's your turn.
Oh no! Which one would make the worst coworker? Gosh, this is not
Step
really
in, Abigail, if you got
I
some.
don't know.
I don't know.
What about the
Maybe like
killdeer?
a wood. A killdeer? No.
Yeah,
a
do you
killdeer
guys
would
get
be
ki-
great.
You get them over. You get them at your
We get a
property
lot
more than we get them.
I know, so it's just different.
Maybe
but
like a woodpecker, like a pileated woodpecker or something, because they're so
'Cause
loud,
they're loud.
Like when you're
just
going.
like all of you at the nature center, though.
I'm going woodchuck on that one right there.
woodchuck?
Yeah, I think that would be the worst because they're just one of those that like
Destroys
whatever.
everything.
Yeah, they destroy everything and like whatever you put out specific for something, they're gonna think it's theirs. So like you put out the bird food, you put out the thing, you put out the camp put out the whole camp cabins for the camp kids, and they're like, well,
So-
I'm gonna live underneath there. That's
So
my
you're
cabin.
saying the woodchuck is the one that reaches into the refrigerator, even though it's got your name on
name
it,
on
and
it.
takes your food.
That's exactly.
The woodchuck. All right. Tina, Abigail, Sam, thanks so much for coming in and talking to me today. It is Fenner Nature Center. You want to get more information on them, you can stop by their website. It is mynaturecenter.org. We're going to finish up with the final question of the day. And of course, as always, I end with the same question. If you had the ability to snap your fingers and place one thought into the collective consciousness of the entire human race, what would that thought be? Sam, we'll start with you.
I love it. That was so on point with that. If I was able to snap my fingers and put one thought into the collective consciousness, it would be that we are not separate. We're not separate from nature. We're not separate from the ecosystem. We're not separate from the animals. We're not separate from the things that we do and the impacts that we have, there is a huge connection. And for some people it's spiritual, some people it's whatever. There's a huge tangible connection. We are absolutely part of this biome. We're part of this environment. So the things we do, the choices we make, how we recreate, how we do stuff, it matters.
Wow, if I didn't know better, I'd think you worked at a nature center.
Just briefly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Abigail?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but ultimately, like, the knowledge that you do not have to be a nature person to enjoy nature and connect with nature, and to get your children to connect with nature, and then the values that it, comes along with that.
Yeah, definitely from your perspective of what you do as well. All right, Tina.
I would say don't be afraid to slow down. Just always go, 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 go.
I like that.
Like society, us people in general, but you notice like the animals are doing okay. Like they're they're not thinking about all these crazy things. They're thinking about all the day-to-day life. Just slow down, because the world's gonna keep spinning. Taking a moment out in nature does help you notice that. Yeah.
Awesome. So you know how we finish it, don't you? To try to make it happen, we all snap our fingers. You ready?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to Shining Stars, Voices of Service, Hope, and Change. If you'd like to recommend an organization or an individual to be featured on this program, I'd love to hear about it. Please let me know. lcc-connect@lcc.edu. You can listen to this episode of Shining Stars along with other programs featured on the LCC Connect network at lccconnect.com. Thanks so much for listening and sharing your time with me today. I'm Daedalian. And remember, we can all contribute something good to this world. A simple smile, a kind gesture. That's all it takes to expand the power of positivity 1 inch further. I encourage you to find your shining star within and be the change you want to see.